So if you give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for some milk. And then after the milk, he'll ask for a straw. And the list of demands will grow and grow and grow. If you don't know this obscure reference, it's from one of my favorite children's books, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. And that's kind of how I felt after I created a drawing habit of a page of figure drawings every day, like I talked about in my last video. After drawing so many figures, I just wanted to see them in an environment, and that's what led to creating a second habit, drawing a figure in an environment in a smaller sketchbook every day. And this habit is a little harder than the first habit mostly because of the time it takes. So it takes about 2 to 3 hours for me to complete this habit. And you might be wondering, how do you have all that free time? And the answer is, I kind of didn't. I had to create that time for myself by, waking up earlier, getting things done faster, spending less time on my cell phone. Something that really helped though was that my work doesn't require a commute, so those hours are automatically invested back into however I want to spend them. And then a big time waster that I used to have in my life was playing video games at night. I took the hours I spent playing Valorant. And to give you some context, I was silver in the game, and for those of you that don't know that much about playing video games, that just meant aka not that good at the game. So I decided to stop doing that at night, and I would reinvest that time back into myself. One of the common myths that we tell ourselves is that we don't have enough time in the day. It's kind of worth looking at our schedule and seeing where we spend unproductive hours, minutes, seconds, whether it's you're scrolling through social media or you have bad habits like me. And then you take those out of your schedule and turn the time into useful time, working towards something that you'll enjoy in the future. And I know I said that this habit was a daily habit, but because of the time it takes to complete, there are days where I can't fit it in. I tried doubling up the next day, I didn't do one the day before, I'll do 2 the next day. And it felt really nice knocking those drawings out, but I realized that was making the process really painful for myself, and I just want to have fun with my art. So I think of this drawing habit number 2 as more of like a bonus. Like the drawing habit number 1 of drawing figures every day in the sketchbook is really important, and if I can fit this one in the day, that makes the day an A+ day. Something I discovered about myself while doing this drawing habit was that I draw environments so much faster with pencil versus on the computer. Like on the computer, I would have to double check every angle, every perspective, make sure everything looks right. And I think that type of analness is because for my work, I use Photoshop. And so digitally, I have to make sure things are right before I submit them to an art director, before they're approved. And in my sketchbook, I just feel like it's just for me. As long as the idea is there, everything is roughly in place, and I get the feeling, that I want from the environment, then we're good to go. I can always choose to clean it up later, digitally if I want to. And then another positive outcome of doing this drawing habit every day has been just seeing the growth in my sketchbook as I flip through it. At the beginning, the sketches look a little more unconfident, but as I get further and further along, I'm a little more precise about how I want to analyze the environment and what I want to say in the environment and with the character, and the story that I want to tell becomes more clear, which is really awesome to see. Just seeing one's self-improvement over a period of weeks is just so fulfilling. I can't explain it enough. And I know I didn't talk too much about the drawing this time, but I had a lot of fun with this one. For some reason, I really love drawing witches in cities, and this is my character, Boba Witch, which you may remember from the Draw This in Your Style challenge, and she's with her little tiger friend, and she just rented a broom from City Broom, the city's premier, transportation rental service, and there's a bunch of fun signs saying slow brooms, which way, one way. At first the sign said spell zone, but then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I think a traffic sign would make more sense there. Yeah, and I'm from New York, so I've gotten to realize I really love drawing urban environments. Like in my head, I like to create medieval characters, but for architecture, I just really like drawing what I know, and for me, that's New York architecture. And as you'll see in the sketchbook flip through that I'll post later, there's a lot of New York architecture that I'll be exploring. Right now I'm adding up some finishing touches like shadows, reflections, things that make the image, things that give the image a really chill and cozy vibe and tell our eyes where to go in the image. And you can see throughout the piece, I kind of use my pencil to guide me back towards the vanishing point that I set up in the middle of the page. And what else? Oh, and then this. So the reason I have the sketchbook page above the sketch blank, and I've been doodling on it the entire time, is to it's kind of my thinking page. It's where I figure out the composition for the image before I do it. And if I think of any cool ideas throughout while I'm drawing, I can just draw it up there, and then I'll kind of as a mental note to save the idea for later. Like while I was drawing this, I was like, oh, it would be really cool to do a down shot with a 3-point perspective, so I don't have to draw the rest of the city, but I focus on the witch by the traffic sign, because the traffic sign will look really cool in a down shot angle. And I just made a mental note to do it later. So that's one of the problems, like, you know, when you're drawing, you get so many ideas that come up, but, you know, just make sure you stay focused on the task ahead and write down the little ideas for later. Well, that's it for this drawing. Thanks for sticking around and hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there's any other type of traditional videos you want to see, and thanks for watching.